Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me once again for Ambition, a Minuet in Power. Last time we made quite a bit of stride into looking into Honorade or Madame Gazelle's story, and she gave us quite the little gem that may help us in obtaining revenge against Marcel, the absolute butthole of a person who destroyed our entire reputation in the span of one night. And I'm quite interested to go there, but first we have quite a money situation. So I think the first thing that we need to do is actually make some money by going to La Tropette de Popol. Oh, this is researching Marcel. So this is a plot point here, but let's check out these events here. So, Pierre, your erstwhile employer, works in a field where one makes quite a few enemies. You just didn't expect it to catch up with him quite so quickly. So, we can make changes to our credibility here. We can make money, and we can increase peril. The maid and the archer. Walking near the market, you come across your own maid of all works, who seems to be in a bit of trouble. Oh, is this our maid? Is that what it means? Your own maid of all works? Is this talking about Camille? And this one? So, some of these are recurring, so I wonder if these are maybe some story points that should be able to be used. I think I want to sell our gossip first and foremost, because what we have is fresh, and the fresher it is, the more we get money for it. So we're actually going to go here. So we're going to either increase or decrease credibility. Okay, Pierre's office either looks marginally cleaner than before, or he's managed to shuffle the mess into differently shaped piles. Honestly, it's hard to tell. You spend a few moments waiting around in the entryway before Pierre arrives, and he seems quite enthused by your presence. Why, if it isn't my newest confidant? Please come in. Have you come back with more delicious information, or perhaps you're trying to find someone? No? So we can ask about Armand. Where is Armand? And how do you know that I'm looking for him? Or, I'm done trying to find Armand. He can seek me out if he cares so much. And wait, what exactly are you talking about? I'm going to say, considering that he's the one that hired a carriage to bring us into the city and leave us at in a cafe area and never meet us that whole time, and then not even take the time to hire another carriage or meet us there, to the point where it becomes night and we have to carry our own baggage all the way to his house, the house that he's been sending us letters from, in the middle of the night as a lone single woman in the city, and then leaving us for several days in the house, not once coming home to see how we were doing or anything of the sort. And then, even still, not even having the decency to contact us, let alone come and see us at the house. I'm going to say he can go screw, because at this point, he obviously doesn't care about us. And I would say if he did want to make any type of reconciliation, he should be the one to come seek us out. And that is my personal opinion on that matter. And otherwise, he can go pound sand. Okay? Pierre cocks an eyebrow at your response and rummages around in the snuff box while he examines you more closely. Ah yes, the sting of desertion can certainly sour one's opinion. Your Armand has been so thoughtless as to abandon you in this cruel city, this den of vipers, and now you seek to chart your own course, non? I doubt anyone could blame you for wanting to seize your own destiny instead of chasing his. Now then, to business? Yes. Let us sell. Sell, 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 sell. Cheap church gossip? Fresh. So this one, a bishop has called for the censorship of an opera critical to the church. The king has signaled his assent, but has taken weeks to make a pronouncement. Is the king taking the request seriously or ignoring it? So if we sway the allegiance of the church towards the crown or the revolution, honestly, I don't care. We'll just sell the gossip. Are you sure you'd like to sell? If you do this, there would be no chance of the public finding out. Yeah, we'll just sell it. I don't care. Especially if there's no chance of the public finding out. Alright, cheap bourgeoisie gossip. Very fresh. A coalition of members of the bourgeoisie have been investing a large amount of money in hot air balloons. Are they visionaries or just wasting money on ridiculous fancies? So we can increase or decrease the power of the bourgeoisie a small amount. They're all cheap, so that's why they're $30. I think we're just going to take the cash. If you do this, there should be a 1 in 20 chance of the public finding out. Ooh. We're going to take the cash anyways. 1 in 20 is not too bad, I think. Alright. Cheap bourgeoisie gossip. Some representatives from the Third Estate have gotten free rooms to stay in from a prominent hotelier. However, they've been staying for a long time. Is this a sign of friendship, or are the representatives taking advantage of their host? So we can sway the allegiance of the bourgeoisie towards the crown or the revolution. Nah, we're gonna just sell it. There should be 1 in 10 chance of the public finding out. Huh. Do I care? Oh, you know what? Maybe, depending on how this goes, maybe this might affect what faction ends up, quote-unquote, winning at the end. And maybe that might affect our standing. But so far, I haven't found no man, so I don't know that I really care. I'm gonna sell. I need the cash. Cash. Alright, this is starting to get stale. This one's pretty fresh though. Alright. A group of vintners are preparing a petition to reduce taxes on wine. Are they trying to make things affordable for the common man, or just increasing their profit margins? So we can sway, or we can sell. Ooh, 60. That's worth double. Oh, if we sell a lot, then I think that increases our chances of the public finding out. But I'm still gonna do it. We're gonna take the cash, man. And a group of vintners are preparing a petition. Oh, this is the same thing. And if we sell, yeah, 1 in 3 chance now. Alright, so maybe we'll peddle influence. We'll sway the allegiance of the bourgeoisie, or we'll hold on to this, actually. You know what? That's what we'll do. We'll hold on to this one for a little bit. It's still fresh. So there's still money in it. So we'll go home. We still have money. Well, we have money now for next week. Be able to survive. So the military ball is coming up soon. No. This is the opera. Okay. And this is for the crown gossip. And let me look at our wardrobe. The provincial outfit is a novelty of 80. And the provincial dress still has some decency for the crown. So you know what? We can reuse this one, I think. And I know some of you are probably like, no, you probably shouldn't do that. I don't know. Does it really matter? And I just noticed this, the journal. Honorade Gazelle. Contravening society's norms, the widowed Honorade has been in mourning for over 2 years. Her vast fortune, secretive tendencies, and the rumors surrounding her romantic predilections have made her a subject of suspicion among Paris's high society. And then politics here. So what is this? So the bourgeoisie, the military. Oh, is this, okay. So nobody has any height of power quite yet. It's all power of one. And is this allegiance? Okay, so the church and the military both have an allegiance to the crown. So these are the minor powers, the bourgeoisie, the military, and the church, right? And the bourgeoisie are currently have allegiance toward the revolution. So maybe we should try to sway allegiances toward the revolution if we're going all in on the bourgeoisie. Gossip. We've got gossip. Fresh, 2 days old. And Pierre can have requests? That's interesting. Okay. Well, I think we have time. We'll just continue exploring. Ooh. La Place Royale. What is this? A great square where the rich and powerful socialize. Here you'll spend the day trawling for gossip. Lots of gossip. Okay. Home. Ooh. Guinguet, Paradis. Out in the suburbs of Paris, Guinguet Paradis is a rendezvous location that's the perfect spot for drinking, dancing, and cabaret entertainments. Okay, well, I don't really think I'm interested in any of that yet. The Perils of Journalism. This is for Pierre. This is the maid. Yeah, so these are sticking around. This one is to hire a bodyguard. I don't think we're at a point where we need the bodyguard yet, so maybe we'll hold it. We have 25 peril, which is pretty rough, but at least we're still okay, I think. Let's research this Marcel thing. You head to La Place Royale, hoping to track down some information in regards to the mysterious fortune of your hated foe, the Viscountess Marcel de Foix. So there's lots of gossip to be had here. Okay, so let's just visit the location. You start your day by walking towards the center of Paris. Viscountess de Foix isn't just a member of the aristocracy, she's a woman who wields her title and noble privileges like a weapon. There's only one place to learn more about a woman like that. La Place Royale, the favored social spot for all the aristocrats in the city, the hub of all gossip, social news, slander, and scandal. If there was ever a telling secret or a salacious rumor, this was the place to find it. La Place Royale is now available to visit in the Paris map. I think we saw that. You remember reading about this place over a year ago. Its storied buildings are even more impressive in person. Elegantly dressed aristocrats strut about the gardens, stopping briefly to chat in hushed tones. Without the benefit of a title or an introduction, you can't approach any of these groups directly. However, there's nothing to stop you from overhearing things just as you pass by. Staying on the absolute edge of conversations, you circle the square, pretending to be a traveler just admiring the apartments and gardens. The first hour you spend on this task yields no information concerning Marcel, but you do manage to hear some gossip that a certain newspaper might appreciate. You have acquired some cheap church gossip. So this kind of gossip is very random. During the second hour, you hear something about Marcel's father, the former Viscount de Foix. Apparently, Viscount Alfonso de Foix died a few years ago, and his funeral was so lavish that people are still discussing it today. Not exactly what you're looking for, but it's on the right track. In the third hour, however, something piques your interest. Apparently, Marcel is rather obsessed with her clothing and a personal appearance, even claiming to be a fashion icon. Do you get to decide that about yourself? Isn't that something that other people have to call you? Marcel's vanity, demanding nature, and abrasive manner have led her into serious disagreements with several dressmakers and clothiers around the city. In fact, some of them simply refuse to do business with her anymore, though she claims the situation to be on the other way around. She would have to have been an unpleasant customer indeed in order to drive a dressmaker away. Apparently, every order she places is completely unique, which means each item in her wardrobe would cost a fortune. An idea strikes you as quickly and surely as a lightning bolt. Each of the Viscountess's dress would have cost far too much just to pay for it in coins. It would require a banknote. Any dressmaker that worked with Marcel would have to know the name and address of her bank in order to collect any payments. All you have to do is find someone who had worked with her in the past, someone with a grudge. This will bring you one step closer to having the dark secrets of Marcel's money within your grasp. You now have a vital clue for finding Marcel's weakness. However, you'll need to figure out where to search next on your own. Now you just need to find such a dressmaker. But where? I think our dressmaker might have just the clue. Our very own dressmaker, mind you. Let's take a look here and see. So, yeah, we could go to Le Petit Mogul. Working up the nerve. Oh, you happen to find the dressmaker Fatima Shenna outside a fashionable cafe. However, she doesn't look that happy to be there. In fact, she looks quite distressed. Okay. Rumor mongers. It appears that you're not the only person hunting for gossip in Paris. However, if you're quick enough, you might be able to snatch some choice morsels from your competition. That's for making money, it seems. A study in chemistry. An unusual man of science has a proposition for you, and it has something to do with rumors in the city. So more rumors. And this is the doorman, bodyguard. I think we should talk to our dressmaker friend and see if she has any gossip. I don't know if this is what we should do. You know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to save here, just in case. Oh, now it's asking me to overwrite or create a new. So let's create new. I don't know why, but when we start a new day, it just saves, and it just saves. It doesn't ask me if I want to overwrite. I don't know why it's asking me to overwrite this time. Yeah, we'll create a new one. Alright, and then we'll go to the dressmaker here. A small shop run by the dressmaker Fatima Shenna. Spend your day here to buy and sell wardrobe items. Hire Maurice the tailor. What? Let's take a look. You arrive again at Fatima's dress shop, and while you can't see the proprietor, you can hear her grumbling from the back room. Eventually, Fatima shuffles her way out to meet you in the front of the shop, dropping a ledger onto a nearby table. She seems to be lacking in her normal energy or enthusiasm. Welcome back, she mumbles. How can I help you? So we can ask her directly if she's done business with the Viscountess. Which I think we should do rather than asking if she seems bothered, because we might not get the chance to ask her about this. At the mention of Marcel's title, Fatima sneers for a second, as if she'd smelled something truly foul. She opens one eye, judging you carefully. Fatima's voice is flat and level. How do you know her? And we can tell her that she snubbed me at a party. I hate her. Because she seems like she doesn't like her either. So I think it's worth the peril, maybe? Fatima perks up at this and looks at you with curiosity. Oh, really? Well, it looks like we have something in common, though it tends to make us unpopular. In my case, the Viscountess didn't snub me at a party. She did so here. You gained a little credibility, and we gained some peril. You see, a month ago, I was approached by a servant working for the Viscountess Dufour. This first servant said the Viscountess was a genius who wanted to commission a dress she had designed herself. I quoted a price to them, and they immediately tried to tell me it was too high. This servant swore up and down that making something for the Viscountess was extremely prestigious, and that I should even work at a discount for all the new business it would bring me. The dressmaker snorts derisively. I may be new to running my own shop, but not new enough to fall for that old ruse. I'm just laughing because that sounds like something that happens today. You may have heard a lot about this, but like you'll hear a lot of people talk about stories like if you're someone who sells a service or a product online, you'll probably have heard stories about people saying, hey, why don't you sell this or give this to me? Like sell it to me at a discount or give it to me, and I can use my influence and give you business, to give you business by way of my introducing it to my fan base. And I think I've heard a lot of it from like Instagram, for example, where people ask for things, or even like YouTube or TikTok. They'll be like, hey, why don't you give me a free stay at your 5-star hotel, and I'm an influencer. I will get people to come here and stay here, and you'll get lots of business. Meanwhile, they have like 20, 30 followers. Yeah, so that seems or sounds exactly like what Fatima was going through. She's like, another one of these people, this influencer thinks she's going to be able to bring me business. Still, starting a new shop is expensive, and the price we finally agreed on was nice. He showed me the sketches for this genius design, and it honestly wasn't terrible. A little tacky for my taste, but... Fatima sighs and hangs her head for a moment. I wasn't thinking. I saw the livres written on the banknote and didn't think to check the client's reputation. I agreed. Between my other jobs, I spent over a month working on this dress, just getting by on the initial payment for materials. Every other day, I'd get a whole list of changes from her. She wouldn't even check on the dress in person, but something always had to be bigger or more intricate. Anytime I suggested we tone things down for the sake of elegance, she'd threaten to cancel the order, which would leave me holding the bill. I finally finished it, and this giant pink confection was a crime against good taste. I hated it so much that I didn't even write my name on the lining. The Viscountess finally arrived in person to see her creation and, let me guess, she hated it. Yep, she hated it, even went so far as accusing me of butchering her design. After calling me every name under the sun, she took the dress, but refused to pay the bill. She claimed it was compensation for her lost time. Fatima bites down on the stem of her pipe hard enough that, for a second, you worry that she'll crack one of her teeth. I could take her to court, but no judge would take the word of a minor shopkeeper over that of an aristocrat. I'd need a good lawyer, which I can't afford. So that's my tale of woe. In fact, I still keep the original banknote for my materials payment hanging in my office. It's a reminder to be careful who I do business with. Sorry to bore you with my story. And let's ask her the banknote. Can I see it? Oh, let's say after a story like that, I absolutely have to see the banknote. We're going with that one. That way it's like more enthusiastic. I suppose, Fatima says with a shrug, as long as you don't make fun of me when you see it. Fatima disappears into the back of the shop for a moment. She returns with the banknote written on a piece of paper. I should have known something was wrong the moment I saw this thing. Why would a noble give me a note from some minor place like Caisse de Confiance? She probably cheated all the respectable banks. Yeah, she probably did. It sounds like her fortunes are probably ill-gotten. That's my thought on the matter. You study the banknote, taking care to memorize the name and address. Bank and Mistrust is now available in the Paris map. After a few moments, she takes the note back. So, Madame Ducos, shall we do business? Alright, so let's look at what we got here. So, we've got another dress. I'm honestly not sure what is what here. I mean, there's pluses and minuses to all this stuff. But I mean, we've got... our next event is for the Opera Gala, and it has... Actually, let's go with something cheap here. Oh, this is 13. This is 44. This one's good for a military function, which actually is coming up really soon. So maybe we'll buy this for 13. Yeah, we'll buy this for 13. That way we'll have another dress in our rotation. And then we'll eventually sell off one of the other, or both of the other dresses. And because this one doesn't have much in the way of influence for anything else except for the military. Oh! Except we already had one that was plus 17 for the military. It's too late. If we sell it back now, we don't get as much. Yeah, it's half of... Man. Dan. Oh, wait, it goes down. Okay. So the amount that go... Okay, it's because the novelty is worn off. Okay, I get it. Okay, well, let's... live and learn, right? Let's leave the shop. All right, April 2nd. So let's see here. This is the day before the event, so actually let's rest so that we don't lose 10 credibility. Instead, we will rest for the day, and we will start with 0, I guess. You decide to take the day off and spend some time at home resting and recuperating. After spending the day in, taking care of yourself, and doing some light reading, you finally feel recharged. The exhaustion that has been affecting you before has passed. You no longer have any levels of exhaustion. With that complete, you turn your focus upon other matters that demand your attention. April 3rd. Okay. Let's see here, shall we? We've got this Opera Gala. And, So, let's use the provincial dress. It's still plus 7 to the crown. So let's go to the party in this. And because this one's minus 1 to the crown, this is the one we just bought. So let's go with this one. And then for the military ball, we'll wear this one. Okay, let's go to the party. As your carriage nears the party, you consider taking one last moment to assess your preparations. Let's do so. You pause to consider how well rested you feel. You're neither well rested nor exhausted. Nothing is holding you back from doing your best in this game of wits. You check in a tiny mirror you keep in the carriage to see that you're wearing the provincial dress to a party being held by the crown. Credibility up. The guests approve of your outfit and your credibility has increased. With preparations like this, tonight should be a largely positive affair. You step down out of your carriage and hear the ripple of whispers that signal your arrival to any social event these days. There's a small line in the vestibule as guests are waiting to get in. While you're standing in this line, you manage to overhear an interesting rumor. You make a mental note of it, just in case. You've gained a piece of cheap crown gossip. A servant checks your invitation and everything seems to be in order. So this is the crown. I don't know that I care. So let's just nod to her and enter the party. She curtsies to you as you pass her by and enter the party. Now let the games begin. Alright. So let's see what we've got here. A small wager. And so this is the illegal gambling again. What's this one? A colleague in journalism. A woman apparently used to work with Pierre. Okay, so this has a lot of gossip that we can get. It's a lot of crown gossip. Let's see, this one's the chambermaid with the lost coin. And this one, urgent message. A messenger has arrived at the door bearing pressing information. This scandalous news might be worth quite a bit if one were to obtain it. So, let's see. There is a very wide swing in credibility and a decent amount to either increase or decrease peril. Decreasing would be nice. The crown gossip would be probably nice too. Let's go with that, actually. The urgent message, and we'll see if we can possibly decrease our peril here. Strolling through the event, you find yourself in the vestibule of the party venue again. The room is empty, as the doorman appears to be off doing something else. You're startled by the sound of banging at the door. Do we answer it or just ask who it is? I guess let's answer the door, open it. You open the door to see a young man he's sweating profusely, and you can see a horse outside pacing anxiously back and forth. Without a word, he steps inside. Once inside, he frantically looks around the otherwise empty room. Excuse me, but can you help me find Madame Marie de Lorraine, the Countess de Brionne? I have grave and potentially scandalous news for her. Alright, so there is a medium credibility check here. We can tell him we can't risk you being spotted inside. Tell me the news and I can deliver it for you. Or, oh, but of course, monsieur, we must find the Countess immediately. Or, I'm sorry, but this sounds like none of my business. There is a very high, desire to go with the, tell it to me. Tell it to me. We'll let you know. And then there's helping him find the Countess. But I think if we help him find the Countess, that's where we risk the getting peril to try to listen in on the information. But this is a medium credibility challenge. I mean, how is that going to go for us? You know what? Screw it. Let's go for it. We can't risk it, he says slowly. Mon Dieu, madame, you're right. Come closer and make sure to deliver every word you hear to the Countess, and only the Countess. As he frantically whispers details to you, you find your eyes opening wider and wider in shock. It's equal parts tantalizing and ghastly. Surely it can't be real, but it must be, otherwise the messenger wouldn't be here. It's no wonder the Countess needed to hear this immediately. You've gained a piece of outrageous crown gossip. Of course, Pierre would like this information as well, as it's perfect material for his paper. Still, sharing it with Countess would be hazardous. It could also lead to a reward or improved esteem in her eyes. Now, I must be on my way before someone spots me. Curse these courtly intrigues. He takes his leave, and you are left with a valuable secret. So we can increase our peril by telling the Countess of it, or we can just leave this to ourselves. So, I mean, we can... Yeah, so it says it definitely will increase our peril, because we're putting ourselves in the line here. Maybe we should keep this to ourselves. Our peril is fairly high already as it is. I don't know how this will affect things, but yeah, let's keep it to ourselves. Keeping a secret is easy enough for a woman in your position. With some new valuable knowledge acquired, you decide to look around the rest of the party and see what else you can accomplish. Oh, man. Oh, I think I'm going to get my head chopped off in this game for sure. Turnabout is fair play. A libertine gentleman has need of your skills in order to exact a devastating plot to avenge a petty slight. So there's a sway in peril and a sway in credibility. In uninvited interlude, your conversation with a clever woman could yield you valuable results, but first, you have to find a way to divert a certain meddlesome musician. Lots of crown gossip, sway in credibility, all in the negative, or 0, and then a sway in peril, and then more gossip. Wow, lots of chance for gossip here. Lost coin again. This one, distant days. You recall a far-off memory. It's of the time when you and Armand first met. Maybe with this we meet Armand again. There's no rewards or anything for it, so I'm honestly not too I'm not too enthused to take that one. I'm kind of thinking maybe this one here with the very high chance of gossip. It's with the musician, so we have to find a way to distract the musician. Let's go with this one. All right. In the midst of your latest conversation, you feel the ethereal pull of a lead on gossip. You're absolutely certain that the woman you're speaking with knows something that Pierre would find valuable. Judging from the way she's speaking, it's likely to be cheap gossip, but it's still about the crown, so that's still quite good. Suddenly, as she's about to finish, a gentleman loudly barges into the middle of the conversation. Ah, good afternoon, madames. Would you both be interested in joining me at the harpsichord? I have a grand new composition that I'm about to demonstrate. Oh, really? You're a musician? She asks. How intriguing. You can feel her focus on your previous discussion slipping away. Let's see. So we can say that we can be brusque and tell him, pardon. But my friend was in the middle of a lovely story. I'd like to hear the rest. That increases our peril. It's one, we say we can suppose we can join him, or we can do a credibility check. Before that, you must hear the end of my friend's story. It's simply delightful. We're 43 credibility. I don't know how well that's going to go, but I say let's try it. My story? She asked, suddenly remembering when she was here, where she was in her narrative. Well, I imagine that would be proper. After you, madame, he sighs. Magnifique! Now, where was I? She asked before delving into the details you've been so eager to hear. You've gained a piece of cheap crown gossip. With her story completed, you and your conversation partner follow the musician to his harpsichord, and he begins to play for a crowd. All the while, he seems extremely pleased with himself and keeps looking at you like he's won some sort of victory. Men are truly strange sometimes. I think he's just a simp. I think that's all that is. With his songs completed, you leave them both behind to explore the rest of the party. Except that's the end of it. So we lost a little novelty on the dress. We've got outrageous crown gossip. Got cheap crown gossip, and we got 7 credibility. Very nice, very nice. April 4th. So we have 1 exhaustion because we went to a party, and there is another party tomorrow. We've got something here. Baroness Anne Gontaut requests the attendance of Yvette Ducot to their play opening on April 8th. This intimate party is sure to be a most spectacular display of joyous revelry. So, let's see. We don't want to ignore it. We either want to accept or decline. And this will give us revolution gossip. I think we will accept. Lots of parties. Is this what it's like to be rich? Because parties are parties, right? So what do we want to do here? We could rest, but we will receive -5 credibility. I don't know. Let me see what's here. We have options. I feel like we should continue on with this Marcel situation, but what else do we have here? Maiden the Archer. This is still a thing. Rumor mongers. It appears that you're not the only one. Okay, this one's for more gossip. And study in chemistry. Shocking gossip. Or we can sell our gossip. Let's see how fresh it is. Let's see. Armand de Marbeau. You met your estranged fiancé, Armand, back when you were both living in a small village to the south. So So these are notables. Okay, here we go. This cheap gossip is still fresh, 4 days old. We got some stuff here that's 6 days old. It's still considered fresh, though. Maybe now is a good time to go sell some of this. Yeah, we've got one that's 4 days old, 1 day old, 1 day old, 6 days old, and 1 day old. The shocking bourgeoisie gossip is $60 or livres, but this outrageous one is 90. I kind of want to sell that like soon, so maybe we should do that before the next day, because we'll get more gossip soon. So let's sell. We'll sell our gossip. You enter Pierre's office to find it more disorderly than usual, with Pierre pacing frantically in the midst of all the chaos. He looks up at you and exclaims, "Ah, madame, thank God you've arrived. I have been keenly checking the winds of public opinion, and my finely honed journalistic senses tell me that our readership desperately cries out for stories concerning the revolution. However, I'm at a loss for such information. If you can get me fresh gossip relevant to that faction in the next 9 days, then I'll reward you with 30 livres in addition to your regular finder's fee." Oh. Do you feel up for the task? Gossip about the revolution in 9 days? I can do that, yeah, because there is a revolution party coming up real soon, so let's do that. "Ah, fantastique, madame. I just knew you were the perfect woman for the job," he replies with an excited grin. "I already await your success with bated breath. Now then, to business, yes?" "Yes." All right, let's sell the outrageous crown gossip. That's worth 90, guys. 90. Oh, or we can use it to sway power. Oh, that's an interesting one. Oh, this one is not so fresh anymore, but it's still worth 60. Let's see. I want the money from this one. So let's take the money from this one. The queen plans to grant a title to one of her closest female friends. Is the queen recognizing merit or merely giving honors to her personal favorites? We'll sell this gossip. And no chance of the public finding out, so let's do that. And what we'll do is we'll sell the expensive stuff, so that there's less of a chance of the public finding out it was us, and use the less value ones to sway. So this one is also fairly decent in price, so why don't we sell this one as well? Okay. 1 in 20 chance, so we'll sell that. And this other gossip, what we'll do is I think we'll peddle influence. So this one, increase or decrease the power of the crown by a small amount. So we'll peddle the influence and let us... I think so far we've... I don't know. Because Madame Gazelle is in the bourgeoisie, right? And so the bourgeoisie's their allegiance is toward the revolution. So maybe what we should do is decrease the power of the crown. So maybe that's the way we go. So we'll decrease the power of the crown. And then this cheap gossip, the queen was recently seen bedecked in a spectacular new diamond necklace. Is it a sign of royal power or unnecessary excess? So again, we'll peddle the influence and we'll decrease the power of the crown. And then we've got this last, the church gossip. And this is another faction. So a country priest in Paris for the Estates General has been granting asylum to accused criminals. Is he intervening on behalf of the people or obstructing justice? I think what we'll do is we'll peddle the influence and we'll decrease the power of the church. because the church was very allied with the crown too. So let's decrease their power. All right, and then we'll go home from here. And now we're April 5th. We're at the next party. Oh, I'm just thinking now. The idea was to finish up at each party or at the end of each party, and I've already gone past that and we're already at the next day. Oh, paying your due. You look up at the sound of Camille knocking on your doorframe. Good morning, madame. The house's rent is due today, as are my wages. You have the necessary 40 livres, but you wonder if you could put them to better use elsewhere. I say we pay the rent and the servants. Merci beaucoup, madame, Camille says with a curtsy as you hand her the money. You've paid 40 livres. Camille leaves to deliver the money, and with that, the business concluded. Your day may continue. Oh, because it's the next week, yes. All right, we need to make sure we always have 40 in the bank. Oh, there's another invitation here. Professor Maria Ingelger requests the attendance of Yvette Ducot to their feast of Saint Michael. Let's accept. There is quite a bit of time between that and the previous, so we'll go and do that. So for this one, we have one exhaustion, but I think we'll go ahead and head to the party. And this is for the military ball. All right, so we'll use this dress, plus 18, and we're exhausted, so we lose 5 credibility, but I think we'll get 5 credibility for wearing something that is good for the military. All right, here's your carriage nears the party. You consider taking one last moment to assess. Let's assess. You consider how well rested you feel. Nice. Unfortunately, you can feel the exhaustion set in as you look past the door towards the enormous crowd of party guests. Tonight is going to be a long night. Credibility down. Great. You check a tiny mirror to keep you in the carriage to see that you're wearing your robe a la Francais to a party being held by the military. Credibility up. Ooh, that went up quite a bit. The guests greatly approve of your outfit, and your credibility has increased significantly. Wow, we're now at 56 credibility. What you wear definitely makes a difference, it looks like. With preparations like this, tonight is yours for the taking. You step down out of your carriage and hear the ripples of whispers that signal your arrival to any social event these days. There's a line leading to the open field of richly appointed tents as guests are waiting to get in. While you're standing in this line, you manage to overhear an interesting rumor. You make a mental note of it, just in case. Gained a piece of cheap military gossip. A servant checks your invitation and everything seems to be in order. So this is for the military. I don't really care for the military, so we're not going to give them a gift of wine. So let's just nod and enter the party. She curtsies to you as you pass her by and enter the party. Now let the games begin. All right. So we've got 4 to pick here. All right, let's start with this one. Why is there a woman here who looks so much like you? Interesting. And this one, previous experience, the Dragoon, Corporal de Aversion, Avern, seems to have heard something that's bothering him. Perhaps you could unburden him of such a worry. Oh, so we can get revolutionary gossip here, as well as crown gossip. That's interesting. We'll keep that one in mind. Small wager. This one's the illegal gambling again. And a good soldier. So a gallant dragoon has enthralled a small crowd with adventurous stories of his childhood spent in the colonies. He seems to be quite the charming sort and likely bears further investigation. And this is to add favor to Alex. I think trying to get close to one person is enough. 2 people might split our time quite a lot. And honestly, this one seems like it's more advantageous right now. We've got the gossip for either the crown or the revolution. However, the credibility going down or getting to 0 is not good, but reducing peril possibly could be nice. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to go with. So let's go with this one, the previous experience. Breaking away from the crowds, you find yourself in a conversation with Corporal d'Auvergne. I mean, unlike most of our unit, I grew up in Paris. My father's a farrier, which is the only reason I know how to ride a horse. I've been around the stubborn beast since I could walk. One even gave me my first scar, he says, pointing to a thin line at the top of his forehead.
Oh-ho!
Of course, it's not always the case. A few months ago, we had someone join up who'd actually lied about knowing how to ride. Apparently, the fool thought he could earn better pay. Instead, all it got him was a broken shoulder when his horse bucked him off, he laughs. I wonder whatever came of him. It doesn't matter, I suppose, he says with a shrug. Other than the usual complaints and frivolities, our barracks are alight with mutterings of people worried about how dangerous the revolution is becoming. It's funny they're all so loyal to the crown, considering the rumors I've heard lately. Ah, begging your pardon, madame. I shouldn't be discussing that sort of thing. So this check is an easy credibility check by saying, no, it's all right, you can tell me, Corporal. The risk of peril is, I think we both know I'm not walking around without learning what you've heard. And don't worry yourself about it. What else have you been doing? No, we want to hear this gossip. Let's go with the easy challenge.
Oh.
Well, you see, it's none of your concern, he says, eyeing you reproachfully. Damn! Credibility down, peril up. Dude, it was supposed to be an easy challenge. How does that work? Is that RNG or something? Before you can press him further on the issue, he turns on his heel and leaves the conversation entirely. A few party guests stare at you in bewilderment, trying to deduce what's transpired. You leave for a different section of the party before anyone gets a chance to inquire further. You're trying to obtain gossip, not become it. Damn it! You jerk! You just cost me credibility. For no reason. You wanted to talk about that. Shot and scandal. A pair of gentlemen are discussing yet another scandal that the military has been drawn into. However, this scandal is a part of a pattern that leads to some questioning where the military's true loyalty should lie. Lots of chance for gossip here. Slight chance of peril. To lose peril or 0 peril. Credibility, decent sway. We'll keep that one in mind. Failing to fit in. The wife of the soldier is having trouble consorting with the other military spouses at this event, which is their loss, as she seems to know some very interesting things. So a sway in credibility and lots of chances of gossip here. Interesting. Pulling rank. Just as you're about to seize upon some valuable gossip, you're interrupted by a presumptuous interloper. Perhaps there's a way to evade his rude questions and claim your prize in time. So it's only for cheap military gossip. I already have some of that from just entering the place. Division within the ranks. A pair of former soldiers seem to be quite concerned with the rumors they've overheard lately. It's unlikely that you'd be able to get them to divulge these rumors while together, but perhaps one could divide and conquer, as it were. So, gossip, Elizabeth favor, and Antoine favor. I think we're going to go with this one here, the great chance at gossip, because this could be just something that we could line our pockets with. You circle the party with a wide-eyed expression of feigned delight. It's not that you're not enjoying yourself, but it helps make it less noticeable that you're looking for promising targets for your inquiries. You come across a conversation between a bespectacled man and a dragoon. The unfamiliar guest is keeping a calm demeanor, but the young cavalryman is letting his fiery temperament get the best of him. Why is that small people are always so quick to anger? Do they just have some amount of choler as everyone else, but less room to store it? First, it's excuses and pay shortages, but now we're dogged by yet another scandal. Even our weapons themselves are suspect. This is the same guy. It's Corporal d'Arvon. You know, you're a jerk. Screw off, man. So I've heard, replies the gentleman. From what I know, soldiers in multiple battalions have found that they were sold crates of musket balls made from doctored lead. These brittle ammunitions barely fly through the ear. Even if they do manage to find their mark, they'll harmlessly crumble to dust. He grimaces before returning to his normally neutral expression. It appears that the supplier of these musket balls is owned by a noble who's currently favored at court, so any investigations into this misdeed have merely fizzled out without answers. Ugh, the dragoon replies, spitting on the ground in disgust. If any of us did this, we'd swing from the gallows, and rightly so. It seems that even treason in the name of profit is acceptable as long as you have blue blood flowing through your veins. Whose fault is this, really? You consider the complications of such a rumor. Okay, we can either say it's the crown's fault if they've chosen to ignore an obvious crime, or it's the military's fault for buying ammunition without testing it at all. I'm inclined to say it's the crown for ignoring. We're gonna go with that. You've gained a piece of cheap crown gossip. The entire thing is a disaster, from start to finish. The gentleman shakes his head at the thought. Merde, curses the dragoon when he sees that you've overheard their conversation. Obviously, I find no fault with His Majesty King Louis XVI. God preserve him. The military stands ready to defend him at a moment's notice, the corporal explains, forcing an excessively broad smile. He's just covering up for what he actually thinks. Believing otherwise would be an unacceptable crime and beneath me. And then we can either say that we think that he's correct, that this is the crown's fault, or I'd carefully consider my loyalty if I were you. The king's the only man that can help you. Or don't worry, you have my discretion. There's no need to hide your anger. Let's go with that last one. Merci beaucoup, madame, he replies in a low voice. Well, that's not including the gossip you picked up earlier, but he believes you regardless. Everything feels like it's just lurching from one crisis to the other. People like us, he continues gesturing at the three of you, people like us need to look out for each other because I guarantee you that nobody else will. You've gained a little credibility and lost a little peril. Now that's what I'm talking about, my dudes. Your conversation with the two of them continues at a pleasant pace for some time afterwards. It's nice to actually relax at one of these events. If one isn't careful, they could start to feel like work, and what would the point of that be? Eventually, you say your goodbyes and part ways with them. You scan the party to see if there's anything else you can do before the party ends. But I think it's ended. Yes. So our new dress has lost 10 novelty, but we've got cheap military gossip, cheap crown gossip. We've gained 8 overall credibility, and I think we lost a little bit of peril, or no, we evened out in peril because we gained peril and then lost some peril from the same dude. Okay, so now it's April 6th. I think what we're gonna do is we shall end off here, everyone. That was a 2-for-1, I would say, for you guys. I hope that you've enjoyed. I hope that you will come back, and hopefully we do not die. But we absolutely have to look into that thing that's going on with Marcel before. I mean, we've got less than 3 weeks here, so we got to get going on that, because who knows how many tasks or places we have to go to before we actually unlock anything. So there's so much to do, so much to see, and we've got to try to keep our head on our shoulders. Alright guys, I hope you will come back for the next one, and I hope to see you there. Until then, bye.